Hi, my name is Austin Riley.
And I'm Mocha Green, and you are listening to CJSW 90.9 FM as a Airwaves.
This program is dedicated
to the education and exploration of disabled life,
giving voice to the life and experience of people with disabilities.
We cover a wide array of issues and disabilities.
We are people who discuss issues we are passionate about
and topics we are interested in.
We show how disability is in the mind of the beholder.
Today is part 2 of our interview with Diverse Moms Connect, Elizabeth Lecerf and Hillary Beierle. Diverse Moms Connect is a local group offering support for moms and parents for neuro-diverse kids in the Airdrie and Calgary area.
The group provides a safe space for parents to connect and share experience.
Now we continue our interview. Have you seen any changes in yourselves or for other parents since the creation of Diverse Moms Connect?
I think we've seen a huge shift in some of the parents in their confidence in wanting to bring their kids out to these events and knowing that it is a safe space and a judgment-free space, and whether you need to come and stay for the whole time, if you can only come for 5 minutes, if there's that meltdown, whatever. I also see a certain level of, there's a vulnerability that comes with it when we're around each other, and I'm starting to see that as we all begin to connect more, that people are sharing more and just feeling more open, which is really, really great. And then I also, between Elizabeth and myself, I've seen huge shifts. We've gone through, gained a beautiful friendship. I also feel like we've become more confident as parents and just more confident in what we're doing for our community and the events that we're putting on, and that we're on the right path. And so I think just confidence all around in our parents and ourselves. And again, right, knowledge is power, and they learn from us, we learn from them. And a lot of what I've learned and taken and put into our household has honestly come from other parents, that it's worked. And they're like, hey, we tried this. And I'm like, we'll give it a shot, and it works. So again, creating that community and just that confidence to share and vulnerability to share has been really cool to see amongst our parents.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think I have much to add. I think too, that, like you said, that confidence piece, giving ourselves grace is so important in any facet of life. But I think in this journey, it's been really big to learn that we don't have to. Maybe we might fight a battle today, but we don't have to win the war every single day. I know it sounds really dramatic, but just giving ourselves grace when things are hard, or maybe we're not where we expected, or it's tough, that we're allowed to be vulnerable and have those emotions as parents. We don't always have to be so strong for our kids, and often sometimes those are really beautiful moments to allow ourselves in front of our kids to be vulnerable. And I think advocating that for other people in our group, to provide them a space where maybe they're not able to give themselves grace yet, but we can help kind of nudge them in that direction and remind them that they're doing a great job.
Aww, I relate to the crying part because sometimes I do. I am trying to be strong. I just get up and just cry.
Yeah, right? And I think sometimes that's okay. And I think also just knowing that grace for ourselves, but allowing grace for other people too, right? In the world, I really feel that's something that we lack a lot of these days, is grace and compassion and empathy for other people. I feel like we are so all in our heads and rushing to get to the next appointment or whatever it is, or the next thing off the to-do list. I just think if we could all have a little more grace and compassion, the world would be a little bit better off.
Mm-hmm.
Why is self-care important for parents?
Yeah, self-care is important so much. I touched on it a bit just because I need to make sure that I can show up for my family, my kids, in my best state. And in order to do that, I need to take care of myself first. I always think of like when you're on an airplane and they tell you have to put an air mask on. Who do you put on first? You put on your own mask first because you can't help somebody else if you're not breathing. That doesn't mean it's easy. It can be hard, but it doesn't have to be big either. And that's something that I'm trying to remember too, that self-care is as simple as sleep, rest, ordering pizza that night because it's just not the day to cook the meal. And I think it's something that allows for me anyway, my brain and my body to remember that I'm safe. It's very quick for myself anyways as a parent in this world to escalate and feeling like everything is so critical in every moment. And sometimes it is. Sometimes we are in a moment that is really intense and emotions are high and the toys aren't working right and we don't know what that means. And it's self-care, simple as taking some deep breaths or, going outside and getting some sunshine on my face and reminding myself that I am safe and my family is safe. And we can just move forward after that and getting us back into that fight or flight mode in our brains is the best way that we can show up for our family. So it's really important.
I agree.
If I'm not taking care of myself, I'm rolling into that day dysregulated, whether that's a little more on edge or whatever. I personally also find with Cohen, because he is non-speaking, he is very, very sensitive to like energy and like he just picks up on it right away. So the more regulated I can roll into the day, the better it is for my whole family. The better version I show up of myself, the best version they get to show up of themselves. So it's just kind of that balancing act in this season of life, learning to realize it doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be a full day out. Self-care can look different for everyone in different ways, but just finding those moments to ground yourself, stick your feet in the grass, take a few deep breaths.
Mm-hmm. I love self-care person too. I love doing my journaling. It isn't too mostly. I love mostly be skincare.
Yeah.
It is me. I love
everybody
self-care.
Needs self-care. I preach self-care in all areas of my life, whether it's in this mom's group. I am also an esthetician, so I do skincare. I think it's super, super important for everyone. Again, right, we live in a world where we're so busy. So yeah, finding those moments to take care of yourself is so, so important.
I am a very busy woman.
Yeah.
And my self-care kind of thing.
I love that.
What were your expectations when you created Diverse Moms Connect? And how has it progressed since creation?
This is a good question.
I always chuckle about this one.
So my expectation, I was like, great, we get to go for coffee. I love coffee. And that's what we did the first time. We all met for coffee on like the coldest day of the year that year.
Like
we didn't have that many people end up coming because it was very cold, but I had a very good cup of coffee. But I'll let Hillary tell you hers.
So when we started Diverse Mom Connect, clearly we did not communicate what our expectations were. We were rolling in on different expectations. I wanted to start to change the world. I wanted to host events for my community. I wanted to educate people. I wanted to create a community for my son so that he didn't have to feel isolated. I wanted to be able to provide something back to a community that I grew up in and that I'm raising my children in. I wanted to start to be a voice for these families and say like, hey, we're here and we deserve change and we deserve these things, whether it's education, whatever it is, and we deserve to be seen. I really felt that lacked in my community, and I wanted to create just those safe spaces. So we were kind of on different pages. I was setting out with like big dreams to change the world and raise my voice, and she was like, I want community and coffee, which was great both, but we work really, really well. We balance each other out very, very wonderfully. I like to dream a little big sometimes and jump the gun, and she likes to she's like, all right, come back here, rein it in a little bit, and keep me on track. So it works out really, really well. But it's been really cool to see where it's come to and where it continues to go.
Yeah, absolutely. We still have coffee, don't worry.
Oh, yeah, we love coffee.
Love coffee.
Need caffeine.
But yeah, we have definitely grown into more diverse events than I was expecting, and I couldn't be happier. And we have some, big ideas for the future, like like Hillary said, providing more supports in the community, providing that education. Yeah, just, having more people involved in our events so that we can more of them and different kinds all throughout the year.
Oh yeah, also I'll tell you, I love coffee too as well.
Good.
Every season of Russell, I always start coffee, like cold coffee.
Oh, you like cold coffee?
Yeah, I like both.
Oh, you like both?
Yeah.
There's something for every season. How could you not like it?
Yeah, right?
I like to say I run on caffeine and big dreams, Not a lot of sleep, but a lot of caffeine. Got a lot of caffeine up in here.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I vibrate and I wiggle all the time.
What are some stereotypes or assumptions people make about neurodiverse kids or individuals?
Those behavioral challenges, whether it might be like a meltdown when you're out in public or them saying no, whatever that might look like. A lot of times I think society standards looks at those kids as misbehaved kids, or even at those parents aren't parenting their kids, or they need to get control of their kids. But we always say, unless you walk this journey, you don't understand it. And they're not bad kids. It's what's going on underneath the surface. Is it emotional dysregulation? Is it that body-mind disconnect? Is it the lack of support in therapy? Whatever it might be. Again, we hope to start to shift that perspective with education and resources for people. While I find with Cohen being non-speaking, that stereotype is that they're stupid, or that they don't understand, or that they lack education, or those things, and that is the farthest thing from the truth. I've talked to some different autistic adults that do communicate in many different forms, and they are some of the most interesting, fascinating, well-educated people that I know. Like I've said before, Cohen always surprises me, right? So people think, oh, he's not listening, or he doesn't pay attention because he's maybe moving his body in the background, but he's listening. He's just got to move his body so he can listen to you. So I think that would be the biggest one, is just like that misunderstanding between like a verbal communication and understanding. Just because he can't verbally communicate with you doesn't mean he doesn't understand. You don't need to talk to him like a baby. He's there. He just communicates in different ways.
Yeah, I would agree that I think for us it's a lot of the behavior. Our kiddos are misbehaved or spoiled. And you know what? Sometimes there's a fine line, and you know what? Maybe I am a mom that really loves to just give him what he wants, but a lot less of the time, and it's more just we're navigating different challenges. And when you're able to kind of break through that, and sometimes I needed to, even as a parent, understand, like, you know what, we're not doing anything wrong. We aren't bad parents. This is just different for us. And when we're able to break through that, some really cool things happen. And it's really exciting. I remember, I think sometimes parents struggle when like their kids grow out of clothes that they really love. And for me, it was always like toys, when he was like learning and growing in his development in more complex toys. He used to play with like the little kid Lego, they're like big blocks, and now he plays with Lego. He was watching a show about timber haulers, like big machines or whatever. He paused his show and went to his Lego bin and built the exact machine, like from watching this show. And it's like,
he's incredible.
What? Like it's and just like when it's something that is of interest to him and he's able to focus on it, it's incredible what they're capable of. And I think that when you try to, push a square peg into a round hole, it's never going to work. But when you give someone the opportunity and the environment to express and work in a way that makes sense for them, amazing things are possible.
I do relate to stereotypes, and also sometimes I have, so this been a long time ago. It is from my space delay, and one time it was call me baby talking. It was just to me a lot, and the other time, not just been a long time ago, a playbook and never was back. That happened to me. So, and sometimes like that those things.
That makes me so sad, Morgan, for you. And that, right, people just don't understand, I think, what effect words have. I also, because Cohen can't verbally communicate back, like people will say things around him thinking that he doesn't understand. And hearing that from you, like he just carries that. You would just carry that, right? And that, I know as parents, we don't ever want that. And again, I think that's a huge part for us. We just want to educate and help people understand, because the more people are educated, hopefully that will start to shift those stigmas of those terrible things that people say to you, right? Like, because it's just not true, and that's just a lack of education and a lack of understanding. And so I just hope that we can continue to start to shift that perspective, because nobody needs to carry that around. Nobody needs to carry that, no matter what. And it's just hopefully that we can continue to shift that perspective with time here and education.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing that. Those aren't easy things to talk about by any means. So thank you for sharing that with us.
You're welcome. How can we fix this?
Well, I think we can continue to change them, like we had just said, right, through that education and advocating piece, and letting the more that people understand that these aren't bad kids, that these are behavioral challenges, like we said, that body-mind disconnect, or that, whatever those challenges might look like, it doesn't make them a bad kid. There's something going on underneath that surface, I think that's super important. I think the best way to do that, in my mind, is through education. So, but I could be completely wrong and out to lunch too. So
I think awareness is huge, and increasing, I don't know if tolerance is the right word. I think for example, what you guys are doing, you guys are inspiring, and you're not taking no for an answer. You're well, this is what I want to do and I'm going to do it. And also I'm just going to do something that I love. And even if it's more challenging or not what, people might be used to, that's okay. And so I think being strong and confident to put yourself out there when, maybe you don't fit a mold or an expectation, I think that's incredibly powerful, and it shows other people what they could be doing and should be doing, and not being afraid to do it. And I think that's a huge impact as well.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
I think there's real power in the younger generation, seeing the older generation getting out there, going after your dreams and saying hey, I want this and I can do it. And maybe it might be a little bit, there might be an extra curve in the road, or an extra U-turn, or an extra support person, but I'm going to do it and I'm going to get there. And I think that's so important for this younger generation to see hey, I don't have to fit the mold, but I can get there if I want to get there. And I think that's super. I think you guys are doing an incredible thing, and you're going to empower that younger generation as well to be hey, I want to go to school, or I want to do this, I want to be on radio, whatever it might be. I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
What are your future plans or events for Diverse Moms Connect?
Yeah, so during the summer, we for sure have one. Maybe we'll do another. We're calling it Pause and Play. So it's just getting together to all join up at a park or a playground, and just enjoy some time to get the kids outside, get them playing. Those are free events, and we just want to encourage our community to connect with others and, make a plan to meet up. And then we are working on building a resource fair for September. So an opportunity to bring parents into a space where, rather than going out to find care providers and therapists and programming, we're going to try and bring all that programming into one space so that they can connect with a whole bunch of them at one time. Because sometimes that's a really big challenge, not knowing where to go or who to talk to. And then we'll for sure be having our Christmas event again this year in late November usually. And that's a really big, exciting event for us that might as well start talking about it now. Hillary always says it's never too early.
No, it's not. Well, it's kind of Christmas. I'm not a winter girly, so talking about Christmas is kind of like makes my soul a little sad because that means snow. But I will talk about Christmas. We love putting on these big Christmas events. We bring in Santa. So a lot of our families just got to get their first picture with Santa last year, which was super cool. We just bring in a photographer and she comes around and takes candid photos. So again, it just eliminates all of like those pressures, like you're going to the mall and trying to get a photo with Santa and stand in line and have the noise and all of those things. So we try really hard in these larger events to eliminate all of those barriers for families that stop them from going to them. We're really looking forward to our Christmas event. We also have expanded our team for the last year and a half. It's just been me and Elizabeth that have done this. But our team is growing, which is super exciting as we get our non-for-profit status. So everything's kind of getting moving. So I'm hoping that we'll continue to plug along there. And then, we're really looking forward to doing this resource fair in the middle of September. We both found as at the beginning stages that was so overwhelming where do you go, where do you start? Honestly, it's overwhelming at any stage when you're trying to replace your therapy team. It doesn't really matter. I find it, we're 5 years in and I still find it equally as overwhelming every time. So if we can take some of that groundwork out for families of having to make 9 million phone calls, we are planning to bring in some respite workers to have them to hang out with the kids while the parents are able to go and talk and find the right service providers. And that seems to be a big one that we hear a lot of feedback from parents as well. So, and then we will see what the next year follows with. So
That's awesome. He mentioned that respite workers. I did do that too as well.
Oh, you do respite. Good to know.
Yes.
Oh, that's perfect.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes. So just let you know.
Yeah, it's always good. Yeah, we like to bring them in and just give the parents that opportunity to know that they can go and have that conversation and not be worried about maybe what their kid's getting into or whatever else. We did an open play event and we brought in respite workers and it was really great. The parents kind of got to sit, us moms got to sit on the side and have coffee and they played with the kids and it was really cool to sit back and watch. So that's really good to know. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. Because I did with the DLC. I am in 3 teams and I'm going to be home care. I do with different workers with the DLC and research analytic as I mentioned that. But do that and taking something else now and I did for a long time too as well. And you have aspects with that too as well. Is my mom's friend. No. My mom's friend, Cleo, did something with a special needs care too as well. And I think to her again. So yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to add today?
We loved all your questions. I love this conversation. Thank you so much. I think a big thing that we always try to advocate for is community and connection. And one of the things that I remember when we started this is thinking, what would I have needed to or wanted to know when I first started this journey, and how could I tell other parents and moms that are at that stage. And I think that a big part of it was just I felt maybe a fear, or maybe I didn't have a space to talk. And so I think I'd like to encourage new parents or moms, or maybe with a second or third child, if it's different than what you experienced before, like just find people that you feel safe with to talk about it and learn and be that safe space for other people as well. Because I think, we were very fortunate to, again, like early intervention and talk about some of our challenges quite early on. And I think that made a really huge impact in our son's life. And I also think it made a big impact for us, being able to shift and learn very quickly and just, find some peace in that. And so I think just encouraging people to be open and find safe connections, and then be that safe space for other people as well.
And I guess if you are struggling to find that safe space, our inboxes are always open. You can find us on social media. We are on Instagram. We have our Diverse Mom Connect Instagram, and Elizabeth and I run it. So if you just ever need an ear to listen, or you haven't found that community yet, ours is open. Whether you're close by or far away, we are always around. So again, we just want to encourage everybody to find that connection and community. And just know you guys aren't alone, and that you will find people who will support you and your family in the right way that it needs to be. I guess just that we are here. If anybody ever needs an ear, we want everyone to know that they aren't alone. Mm-hmm. So
thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you
this
guys
was super
so
cool.
much.
You guys did a great job.
Yeah, this was amazing.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure to chat with you both.
Thank you for listening
to another episode of Accessible Airwaves on CJSW 90.9 FM.